morning. Board of Commissioners has been called to order, and welcome everybody here this morning. Invocation, Mr. Bell.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have the pleasure of introducing one of our chaplains from the Wayne County Sheriff Department, Pastor Hutchins, if he would come up and do the honor this morning.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, shall we pray? Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, Creator, Giver, and Sustainer of all life, we come into Thy holy presence today with sincere thanks for Your unmerited blessings of life, health, family, friends, and countless provisions. We acknowledge today that it is in You and in You alone that we live, move, and have our being. We further acknowledge in the face of unprecedented gun and domestic violence, family dysfunction, terrorism, religious persecution, political corruption, cultural clashes, and the seeming overall deterioration of society, both at home and abroad, a dire need to obey Your holy command, to pray for all that are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. And in obedience to that command, we pause now to ask Your intervention in all that shall take place here today. We earnestly pray for these who have been entrusted to respect their constituencies individually and the whole of the county collectively. As they engage in the business that shall come before them today, we pray that each member will be permeated with civility and respect as they listen to and give fair consideration to all, including those of opposing ideas and opinions. Inasmuch as scornful men bring a city into a snare, but wise men turn away wrath, grant them and us the consciousness to understand the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. Let nothing thought, said, or done by any individual in this assembly today be motivated or driven solely by ideology, politics, or self-gratification, but let all be tempered with a spirit of fairness, open-mindedness, understanding, and human decency. Thank You for all the representatives, employees, and volunteers who have sacrificed personal time, talents, and resources to serve this community. May their patriotism and humanism always be appreciated and never taken for granted or forgotten. Continue to bless, enable, guide, and protect them is our prayer. As much as Jesus has said, by this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if you have love one to another. Grant, we pray, these in whom we have invested such great trust, all who shall attain other high and lofty offices of leadership, and the citizenry, the praiseworthy distinction of leading Wayne County into an area of restoration, unity, growth, and progress, worthy to be emulated by the state of North Carolina, these United States, and the world, that will ultimately affect the betterment of mankind everywhere and in every walk of life. This we ask in the name of Your Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Mr. Bell, pledge. Please stand. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I forgot to mention a while ago, if you got cell phones, please turn them down or put them on silent or turn them off, whatever, or vibrate. Has everybody had the opportunity to take a look at the minutes? Any changes?
Make the motion, we accept it.
We have a motion to approve. All those in favor, say aye. Or is any adjustments to the agenda, Mr. Wood?
Mr. Chairman, we have two. The first one is we'd like to add the town of Fremont. This is for North Carolina Eastern Region loan. for 72 months in the amount of $70,000. Y'all had agreed to do this at the last meeting. We have that agreement ready for you, and so we'd like to walk that on and have you approve that. The second is we have scheduled for a public hearing on street assessments for Canterbury and North Creek subdivisions for the next meeting. We do want to hold it as planned, but I'd like to go over some details with you on that and give you an update on that. So I'd like to add that as well.
Okay. Anything else?
You want to go ahead and do it now? Well, let me go ahead and give that update. Basically, I think everybody knows we were surprised at the dollar figures for the work that DOT came back with. What we'd like to do is hold the public hearing as planned, but make it clear that we're not going to take any action at that meeting. And that will give us time to look at some further options. So I think we need to get that out to the public, that no action will be taken at that meeting, but we will hold the public hearing for public comment at that time. But my recommendation and the recommendation of the county attorney is that you then recess that public hearing to a date and time certain, probably 4 more weeks after that, and that'll give us time to look at some other options.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Something to go. Did you have something to say?
I just to follow up on that for clarity. So the subdivisions still, we would like to see them maintain their 75%, but that will not be written in stone at that time. Is that correct?
That's right, because by recessing, the public hearing will still be there, so they would have an opportunity to state at the next meeting, the recessed portion of it,
Right.
If they wish to continue or not.
So
But we'd like to investigate some options before we recommend that you take action on it.
Yes, okay, thank you. Thanks for that clarification.
Okay.
I'm glad you cleared that up.
Okay.
So we have some special recognition this morning.
Yes. The first one is a presentation of the retirement plaque to Myra Jones with the Department of Social Services. I believe we have someone from Social Services.
Stephen Potter.
When you come in?
As soon as they get there.
I was asked to come and speak today to celebrate the retirement after 32 years of Myra Jones. I have just one question. What took you so long? This is rather special to me. Myra has been, she was there when I got there 23 years ago. We were co-workers back in the day, office mates, and friends, long before I ever moved into management with the agency. And I can tell you that in all my years as a supervisor and program manager at DSS, I never once received a complaint from the public on Myra Jones. And I can tell you why that is. Myra is a genuine person. She is honest, straightforward, polite, and kind to a fault. And her clients or customers through the years have picked up on that. And so they know that she's being honest with them, truthful with them, and is always doing the best that she could do for them. And I think that's what makes her a special person for the people that know her and for the people whose lives she's touched through these 32 years in Wayne County. So it's with great pride, and I assume since the plaque is here that I get to hand it to her. But I've got to say it's been a pleasure, and your shoes will not be easy shoes to fill,
The next one we have is a presentation of a retirement plaque to Audrey Ann Williams, who's in the Health Department, and that'll be done by Stephanie Howard.
Good morning. I am Stephanie Howard. I am the WIC director, and Audrey and I go way back. Audrey has been with the County of Wayne for over 27 and a half years, and Audrey was actually on the hiring committee when I came on board, and she was very instrumental in me being a part of the County of Wayne. And Audrey and I go even further than that. When I was deciding what I wanted to be when I grow up, I said, let me come spend some time at the health department and see if nutrition is really what I want to do. And Audrey was there, and that was back in 1993, and I came back, so that's a good thing. Audrey is, when you hear about one of those people, she is that people that you hear about. She is very quiet on the outside, so full of wisdom. She has almost taken on the nickname of Mother Hen in the house at our WIC office, because so many folks that have come through have found that they have a sounding board in Audrey. She is very much a person of wisdom, and it's not just life wisdom, but it's the nutrition wisdom. We have seen countless interns that have learned so much from Audrey that have let them go into their career, and she has made an impact not only on many, many clients that we serve in Wayne County, but so many of her co-workers that we have a special bond in the WIC office, and she will be greatly missed by so many. And as you can see, my other person that is here, we have worn purple in honor of Audrey. So when we see purple, we will think of Audrey. And it is with mixed emotion that we wish Audrey well on her retirement. She has been a very dedicated employee for the County of Wayne, and she too will have big shoes that will probably not be filled. So, Audrey, it is with pleasure. So.
We now have some service pins for years of service, and Marcia, if you'll call the names out, if you'll come up, we'll give you your service pin.
Our one-year pins, Christopher Best with the Sheriff's Office, Kristen Kelly with the Health Department, Shalisa Leonard with Social Services. Kristen, would you like to shake? Michael O'Brien with Solid Waste. Jessica Wolf, Social Services. Heather Allen, Emergency Services. Victoria Antonak with Social Services. Lisa Barker, Services on Aging. Jonathan Griffin with the Sheriff's Office. Keith Lofton with the Sheriff's Office. Marcus McCarson, Emergency Medical Services. Tyler Parks with Social Services. Kelsey Rogers with Wayne Net. Marisha Simmons with Social Services. Hunter Spell with Wayne Net. Philmena Thompson with the Health Department. Sarah Woodard with Emergency Medical Services. We'll go to 5 years, Mr. Wood? Okay, when you're ready. Pat Garner, Public Affairs. Tracy Mayo, Social Services. Linda Williamson with the Sheriff's Office. Reginald Reed with Emergency Medical Services. We have our 10-year service pins. Tina Ardner with Register of Deeds. John Beeman with the Detention Center. Matthew Buby with GIS and Mapping. Charles Spason with the Detention Center. Douglas Honeycutt with the Sheriff's Office. Sheila Pridgeon with Social Services. Jason Sasser with the Sheriff's Office. Jacqueline Barnett with Social Services. Maria Neal with Health Department. Julie Sutton, Social Services. And Mr. Wood, our 15-year recipient was unable to attend. He is Danny Price with Inspections.
Okay.
So we'll go to 20 years.
All right.
Mary Bryant with the Detention Center. Kenneth Grice with the Sheriff's Office. Sandra Outlaw with the Health Department. Sally Sayer with Social Services. Debbie Taylor with the Detention Center. Kevin Whitley with Environmental Health. Carter Hicks with the Sheriff's Office. Donna Phillips with the Library.
That is.
And we are honored to have one employee with 35 years. And that, she jumped right up, but it's Evelyn Coley with the Health Department. I'm sure we all want to give everyone a hand.
You better go back to this consent agenda again, because they just showed up and they weren't here a while ago.
Actually, one of them, anyway, let's get back to business here. Appointment committee, Mr. Bill.
You want to go back and just announce about public comments? We didn't have anybody to sign.
Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't have anybody sign in for public comment this morning, so there are none today.
No, sir. Did you want to speak?
Yes.
Okay, I need for you to sign in. Okay. We have Angela Hart, and she has indicated that she will not speak about agenda topics. If you'll wait just one moment for me, Ms. Hart. So we will give her 2 minutes. Okay, thank you, Ms. Hart.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I come in front of you today as a former county representative of the Goldsboro Community Development Board, a taxpayer and a voter in Wayne County. Friends of mine who also are taxpayers and residents of the Wayne County were looking into building a house in this county and discovered to their surprise that an employee in management of the facility department of Wayne County runs their own full-fledged construction and remodeling company called Kendall Lee Construction out of Mount Olive. Again, as a taxpayer of this county, I would like to know, is this not a conflict of interest in county policy? If not, it should be. How is it possible to run a construction company entirely after 4 p.m. or on the weekends when it gets dark by 6 or 7 p.m.? I think this necessitates an inquiry into this matter. If he had conversations with his potential clients and conducts his personal business during county business hours, is that not a conflict of interest? Other employees have been reprimanded for conducting their personal business on county time while being paid by the county. As a taxpayer, I would request an inquiry into whether or not he is using his county phone allotment to conduct personal business and his county vehicle to go to personal job sites or during business hours. If so, I would request that the county be reimbursed for his cell phone charges and he possibly be reduced to part-time as employee status. Please look into the conflict of interest policies, or if he used to be a contractor of this county before he was an employee, is he getting preferential treatment? Secondly, I would like to make you commissioners and residents aware that there's a question of the electrical safety of all 84 county facilities right now, in light of the disrepair of the buildings. The only person in the maintenance staff for 7 years with knowledge of the layout of the buildings that helped wire the many buildings with true electrical and industrial experience was terminated in a racial conspiracy recently.
Thank you for your comments. Ms. Wilson, did you have anybody else that had signed up?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Mr. Gurley, I'll move on to,
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The appointment committee met this morning, and we'd like to recommend Aldea Lepar to the Wayne County Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee, and I'd like to put this in form of a motion.
we have a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Unanimous.
And next, we'd like to recommend the reappointment of Hazel Best, Dorothy Owens, Bessie Scott, Clarence Smith to the Wayne County Nursing Home Community Advisory Committee, and I'd like to put this in form of a motion.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous.
That's it.
Thank you, thank you. Let's move into unfinished business. Mr. Wood.
Okay. The first order of business there is a motion to approve the study and design contract with Stewart Cooper Newell for an E911 center. You have a memorandum from me on page 32 of your packet. We have negotiated the terms of the contract. We don't have the contract yet. They're in the process of getting that printed up. But I know that we're in a hurry to get this one underway because we are facing a deadline. So at the last meeting, you authorized the county attorney and I to negotiate a contract with Stewart Cooper and Newell Architects. This is for two things. One, to do a study of 5 possible options, and then design a 911 center based on the selected option. 3 of the options would be renovations with additions, and 2 of them would be new construction. The negotiated terms are as follows. The study component would be $18,300 plus reimbursable cost estimated at about $983. In my view, this is a very reasonable fee for evaluating 5 potential sites. If the selected project option is a renovation or addition, the design fee will be 9.5% of the actual construction cost. You typically pay more for a renovation fee than new construction. If the selected project option is new construction, the design fee will be 8.25% of the actual construction cost, and that's the same fee we have on the agricultural center. We've discussed the finer points as well, but have not completed the typing of the contract. I have included some of the points that Mr. Parker always wants in these contracts, such as no binding arbitration, and that we own the work product for the purposes of construction. The overall language should be very similar to what we have on the HH architecture contract on the Wayne Regional Agricultural Convention Center. Given that we're trying to fast-track this project, I recommend that you authorize us to approve this, or that you authorize approval of this, subject to the final language being approved by the county attorney and myself. And that way we won't lose another 2 weeks on this project.
I entertain a motion to.
So moved.
Okay. Who beat who? It's a girl.
It's a tie.
So tie goes to.
I'll yield to Mr. Acock.
Okay, Mr. Adcock, we have a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I would just like to ask one question, unless, I think I'm looking at the right page. Do we factor travel in for these folks?
Yes, that's
Do-
part of the reimbursable expenses.
Okay. And do we normally do that with
Yes.
contractors? Do they-
You do with architects and engineers. That's normal.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, any more discussion? All right, then we have a motion on the floor. All those in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
could I say something for a second? Are we gonna go back and read, I know we've already talked about your comments this morning on the North Creek Canterbury Village public hearing, but I see that two of our citizens from that area have just come in, and I was just wondering, Mr. Chairman, would it be appropriate if we re-announce that or let Mr. Wood redo his comments as they are here? That way we can get the word out and make sure it does get out.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was gonna recommend the very same thing.
Okay, thank you.
You want me to go ahead?
Yeah, you can go ahead, because that gentleman just came in.
Okay. What we're planning on doing is holding the public hearing as scheduled on March 1, but we wanted everybody to know no action will be taken at that meeting. We'll just be taking comments from the public. We intend to recess that meeting, which means it will still be continued over for about a month, for about 4 weeks to that meeting. And that will give us time to look at what options we may have, given that the price came in so high. So, but we wanted everybody to know we will hold the public hearing as required, but people won't have to make a decision at that meeting if they want to stay in or out on the petition, because we'll be holding a continuation of that meeting 4 weeks later, and at that point, they can do that. That's not to say they can't do it if they want to do it on March 1, but our recommendation would be to hold off on that until we look at all of our options.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Mayor.
And I also followed up with that earlier to just for understanding, is that during this time, since there's not going to be a definite commitment, that we need to still try to maintain the 75% on the petition. So that sort of gives us some time here to work together and see what we can come up with. Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. You want to discuss the Fremont issue, Mr.?
Yes. On Fremont, we asked you to add this one to the agenda. You have a copy of this intergovernmental agreement. At the last meeting, you agreed to finance $70,000 for their water and sewer out of the Eastern Region money that we have for economic development. That is clearly an allowed use there. This agreement would give them 72 months to repay it. They would make quarterly payments, and they would make a 2% one-time origination fee, and after that, it'd be 0.25% annually on this. So it's a very good rate, as y'all recall, on these. They are in desperate need of this money to fix the sewer system, and it's to fix one of the pump stations. And just to remind you that their sewerage is pumped out of Fremont all the way to Goldsboro, and is treated at Goldsboro wastewater treatment plant. So if one of those pump stations in a series goes out, or we have problems, it actually backs up their whole sewer system. So this is critical that they get this pump station fixed as soon as possible. The other reason it's critical is it's located at one of our schools. So they need to get this done and done right away, and that's why we want to move forward with it.
Mr. Aycock.
You are ready for comments?
Well, I was going to ask for a motion first.
Oh, okay, well, okay.
All right. I would entertain a motion to approve.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
That motion on the floor. Any discussion? Mr. Aycock.
I'd just like for the general public to realize, this is not only just gonna help the town of Fremont, but this should cut the flow down into their system drastically. And not only is it gonna help Fremont, but this is gonna also reduce the bill that the school board has to pay Fremont for these. So it's a win-win for Fremont and for the Board of Education. So it's and the rate that they're gonna be able to get this money at, the savings is gonna far exceed what it's gonna cost them.
That's right. I'd just like to add, I think the town administrator up there, Ms. Aycock, is to be commended, because she has really gone after trying to repair their sewer system. I know the whole town board has as well, but they've done a good job, a commendable job of getting on top of these problems.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, you sort of took the words out of my mouth.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Would, because over the last couple of years in particular, the Wayne County Board of Commissioners, of course, have really worked closely with Pikeville, Fremont, and Eureka. There's been tremendous progress being made, but it's slow. It's a slow process, and finding funding, of course, is always a key. I'm just glad that the county was able to help with some of this Eastern Region money. 0.25% interest, that's where you're gonna find it. That's the interest you get on your savings account, if you try to go to the bank. But this is some of the best money that will be spent in that area. So I just want to thank the Board of Commissioners and the town of Fremont and others that are included on making this happen. Thank you.
Any additional discussion? All right. All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Unanimous. Okay. Let's move on. Is there any additional discussion we need to have with the consent agenda? I thought we covered it pretty well in the briefing this morning. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Thank you. New business. So we got a presentation on senior games. And who we got here today?
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to be here today. My reason for being here are twofold, and that is to talk about the Senior Games Health Fair and to introduce the Senior Games Ambassador. The Senior Games Health Fair will be on Friday, March the 4th. It begins at 10:30 a.m. and ends at 1 p.m., and it will be at the Peggy Seeger Senior Center. And this is a kickoff event for our senior games. So those seniors in Wayne County that like to participate, they'll have an opportunity to pick up applications for the senior games this year. And we'll be offering free health screenings at the health fair, such as skin cancer, hearing, vision, dementia, depression, arthritis, blood sugar and blood pressure checks, fall risk assessment. And if you have expired medications at home, this is a perfect time to get rid of them as well. We have Corporal Marissa Davis with the Goldsboro Police Department that will be there, and she will take your expired medications and dispose of them properly. And we'll have over 30 vendors that will be participating and offering information relating to seniors and their health. And we'll have free bagged lunch for those participants that attend, and door prizes, and it's free and open to the public. And again, it's on March the 4th from 10:30 to 1 at the Peggy Seeger Senior Center. And now I'd like to introduce Terry Wright and Stacia Fields. And Terry is our Senior Games Ambassador, and Miss Stacia Fields is with the Goldsboro Parks and Rec. And they're going to tell you a little bit about the Senior Games this year. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Terry Wright. I bring you greetings from the Senior Games. Local games are the foundation of the Senior Games program in North Carolina. And since all local games are held in the spring, now is the time to get ready as we continue to celebrate more than 30 years of healthy aging. Get into the spirit as a participant, spectator, volunteer, or sponsor, or play all these present awards. Assist with registration and help score events. They would love to hear from you. So get into the spirit and share the joy of healthy aging with people of all ages. The fun is about to begin and don't want to miss out. Please remember to say hello to our sponsors and legislators. They make this gift of wellness possible. And standing next to me is my coordinator, and this is Miss Stacy Fields. She taught me everything I know. She'll introduce our games to you, if you allow.
Go right ahead.
Good morning. Thank you, Terry. Terry is one of our ambassadors. Jenny Loving is the other one. And Terry's been with us. This is her second year as our ambassador. And so her job is to go to meetings and to friends and just talk up Senior Games. So, and her energy does it all for us. We have had our local games here. This will be our 22nd year. Last year we had about 350 participants, and they participated in over 1,000 events. Of course, we don't host 1,000 events, but with each person being in multiple events, we got to see basically 1,000 participants. We have everything from backyard games, croquet, shuffleboard, cornhole, horseshoes, to more competitive, all of the track events, 5K walks and runs, 100-meter dashes, 200-meter dashes. We've got all of the swimming events. We've got basketball shoot. We introduced pickleball last year, which if you guys have not played it or seen it, you've got to come and check it out because it is an addicting sport. It's so much fun, but we've got about 40 people that play pickleball, 80 people that are playing cornhole, so it's a great big group. Our games this year will run the whole month of May. We'll do our opening ceremonies on Monday, May 2nd. We'll finish up with a big awards luncheon on Friday, the Friday right before Memorial Day. On Monday, May 9th, we'll be at the Paramount doing a big talent show. It's called their Silver Arts Follies. And normally we have about 25 acts in that. Everything from comedy and drama to instrumental to large groups dancing. So that is a lot of fun. Usually the Paramount is a full house that night. So if you want to come in for a great evening of entertainment, that will be Monday, May the 9th at 6 o'clock. It is absolutely hysterically funny and touching all at the same time. We do invite you out. As Paula said, our senior games for this year will be, our big kickoff is at the health fair at the Peggy Seeger Senior Center, and that is where we will have our registration forms first available. So if y'all get a chance to come out to that health fair, please pick up a registration form. I know that our community members would love to see you guys out there playing right along beside them. So please give it a thought. Thank you for having us here today.
Yeah. Any comments?
Any questions?
Yeah, I'd just like to make a brief comment about the Peggy Seeger Center. The best kept secret in Wayne County.
Absolutely.
That place have what, more than triple.
And it's still growing.
And it's still growing. Now, the problem that we have is parking. And I know there's nothing we can do about it because we're locked in. We got 3 different departments that operate and use that parking lot. So I think we made a contract with, not a contract, but a deal with the people across the street to use their area. So everything is actually filled up over there. So I don't know what we're gonna do. Mention that while you was here so the county manager and everybody could hear it, that we do have a problem over there with parking at the Peggy Sleeper
It's a
Center.
good problem. That means people are coming.
And they got so many programs over there. You can, if you haven't been to the senior center, you need to go. You can learn how to get your taxes filled out. You can get internet. You can get Facebook, all that stuff. And the happiest people in Wayne County are those people that participate over at the Peggy Sleeper Center.
Right, yes, sir. And the only thing I know is to build up. I don't know where we can go. Right. But it's a good problem. That means that people are attending and participating. And thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, being a senior citizen myself, I appreciate what you do. I agree with Commissioner Bill. I only have one question. I caught in your comments that you have 200-meter dashes. Who's that for?
Senior Games is for anyone 50 and above, and we actually have some people in their 80s that run the 100-meter dash, the
I need to
200-meter
go to the
dash.
senior center, that's all right.
We
Okay.
have a fitness room there to get you ready.
Yeah, that caught my ear.
Yeah.
200 meters?
Yeah,
And we don't get no complaints from the citizens.
that's right.
It's just an age.
Yeah.
You come to the
Thank
senior
you
center,
for
it's
what
just
you
an
do.
age.
Thank you for what you do.
I was looking at when you had the phone screen up with the date and time on it. I did notice that senior citizens were 50 years plus, and I just had to sit here for a moment myself. And so I've been a senior citizen for just a little while. I just sometimes I don't think about that until I see it written down. But I'll tell this on myself. I was over in Greenville one day, probably about 19 years ago, with my father-in-law to a doctor's appointment. We came through Hardee's, and I asked for some coffee, and the young lady said, "Do you want your senior citizen discount?" It took me a couple of minutes almost to realize what she was talking about. I mean, I had white hair already, and I just couldn't figure me being a senior citizen. And I'm just ready to tell you, I don't think about it that much until I see that. But to make a long story short, when I visit, I see folk having so much fun in there. And I say, okay, there'll come a time when my daughter, somebody probably drop me off over there. I'm not yet, but I do appreciate the fact that the opportunity is down there somewhere. Thank you very much.
And I'll say just real quick, it's an elite group. You have to earn it. And we have people, they can't wait to turn 60. They sign up the week they turn 60. So it's an exciting place. It's not where we do have rocking chairs, but it's not a rest home where you're sitting there and people are not doing things. It is active, live place to be and fun. So it's something to look forward to in Wayne County.
And what'd you say you get when you turn 60? Because I'm almost there.
You're 60?
Yeah.
Almost there? Yeah, you had to be 60. I'm sorry.
And you get what?
And you get to come to the senior center all you want and participate in our activities.
Well, I got something to look forward to. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Worldwide, the United States is number 15th in the world is how we treat seniors, but it's not that way in Wayne County.
Thank you.
Oh, we've moved up, absolutely. We have something to be proud of. Thank you. And thank you for your support.
Anybody else? Thank you so much for coming today. Mr. Wood, your comments.
Y'all caught me off guard here. I only have one comment. Other than we're working on the budget, we're trying to get several applications out the door. We should finish up with the CMAR negotiations, I hope sometime this week. And then there's one thing I want to give out to y'all. Let me get board one of these. I believe it was Mr. Gurley had asked several weeks ago about a policy on naming county-owned properties and facilities. I think you were aware, Joe, we had one. We did research it, and I just wanted to give you copies of that, all of the board. So there is a policy on this. We are in compliance with that on the naming of various things in the agricultural center. So, but I think as head of the facilities committee, Mr. Gurley wanted to make sure we were complying with that. So I won't take the time to read through it, but I did want to give y'all copies for future reference so that everybody had that. And again, like I said, we're full bore into the budget and the CIP now. You have approved the architect on the 911 center now. I think the only outstanding contract we have now is the CMAR, and we're pretty close on that. I hope we can wrap that up at the end of this week. That's all my comments.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioner comments, we'll start with Mr. Mayor.
Oh, caught me off guard too.
We move along. Joe trained you right.
There you go. I just have a couple. We been in a lot of meetings, but we had our retreat, our Commissioner Board retreat, and I just wanted to say a couple of things about that retreat. I've started my 5th year as commissioner on this board, and I think that retreat is the best we've ever had, bar none, because we talked about a lot of issues, but everything was positive. We looked at things that we want to do collaborative with the Board of Education and other groups in the county. And when I left there, I felt the best that I felt in years about a board retreat. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Boo.
Went to the juvenile justice meeting last Friday. Had a good report. Wayne County's juvenile justice committee is considered one of the best in the state. That's what the state reported last Friday. Go back to East Point again. We're still grappling with the fact that we're trying to merge with some people in the Midwestern, not Western, but this side of Greensboro, to merge with East Point. I don't know how that's going to fall out. Right now, from what I understand, the director of the Sand Hill want to be the director, over the whole East Point if that come about because of her number of years in that position up there. Ken Jones has stepped down as far as the CEO, and he's the senior advisor now for East Point until April the 1st, and then he will exit. And I gave you my senior citizen report a few minutes ago. And I think just about everybody up here is authorized to utilize that center. So you ought to go. There's a lot of fun, really. Really, there's a quality of life over there that's second to none at the senior center. So
Can't find a parking place.
But I invite everybody to come over and attend. Thank you.
Mr. Marty.
One final quick thing about the senior citizens. I couldn't help but think about this. Didn't get a chance to say because I was too busy lollygagging about something else. But my predecessor, J.D. Evans, who served along with John, was dedicated beyond belief to that senior citizens. Way before I had an idea that I'd be serving on this board, I would make trips with him past there to see the progress. So there's been a lot of time and sweat equity and everything else put into that center. I just wanted to say that. I would like to share this. Number one, I read the newspaper yesterday, and although I've been made aware of it about a week ago, the watch van is back on a schedule and serving the community. And I just want to publicly say this to the folk who operate that van. That is what I consider the primary concern of the community that I personally serve, and but all of Wayne County we serve. But I know that, and not speaking for John, but I know that in our respective districts, that was a great concern. And so I want to shout out to Ms. Elmore and those who put that schedule back in place. That we do appreciate that, because I know our constituency appreciates it. And not that I'll personally bring any attention to her, but Ms. Sylvia, sitting out there in the audience, she's very concerned with that, because she and I talked about that on the telephone a couple of times. So thank you for your concern also. I would also like just to share with this group something that the county of Wayne is responsible for, and I took advantage of it yesterday. I was invited down to the Steele Memorial Library to see the movie Selma. And I guess the library planning committee decided to show that. I'm not sure whether it was contingent upon it being February and having to do with Black history or the fact that we're in the election season, and it had to do with the voter registration legislation being passed during that time in Selma, the actual activity, the walking across the bridge. And I will admit to the public, I had put off seeing that movie because when you live through a time, sometimes it's not as easy to go back and see what someone has depicted it to be, because you're wondering if they accurately described it. And just as information to the public, please take advantage of what our library has to offer. And if you get a chance to, please make some opportunity to see that movie through the library. If they put it back to the public again, I think it would be, and this is my final comment, grandparents, if you have a grandchild that's about 13 or older, please make arrangements for them to see that. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Martin. Mr. Aycock.
Thank you, Mr. Pate. I just wanted to agree with Commissioner Mayo on the retreat. I think we got a lot accomplished and talked about some issues that we've not talked about in the past, and part of them we have talked about in the past. But I just wanted to agree with him that I think we got a lot accomplished at the retreat. And also, I want to take the opportunity to thank our EMS and paramedics, because they've been real busy over the last few days. And unfortunately, my family had to use EMS last week. And they're a remarkable group. They do a fantastic job. And I got a chance on that day that my family needed them, I got a chance to be around several of the units basically all day that day. And the patient care that they give everyone, it doesn't make any difference who you are or what you are. They treated everybody the same. And I just want to commend our EMS people for the job, the job that they do well. You really don't know what you've got until you need them, and then it hits home. But I just want to thank all of them, the OES staff and the EMS, the paramedics, the shift supervisors. I mean, they're dedicated. They're there more than just to draw a paycheck. They're dedicated to their job. And also in our meetings and committees, working groups, I just wanted to thank Commissioner John Bell, because his 15 years experience on this board, most of us are relatively new on this board, and sometimes we don't really understand what we can and can't do. And I just want to thank Commissioner Bell for stepping up sometimes and setting us straight, because after 15 years experience, if he doesn't know it by now, he doesn't. But I just want to thank you, Mr. Bell, for what you contribute to this board sometimes when we really don't understand the issue. But thank you. Sure. That's my comments, Mr. Pate.
Mr. Gurley.
I also thought we had a very good retreat last week, and I think we all looking forward to this year and the accomplished goals that were set. And I'd like to commend Paula Edwards and the staff over at Service on Aging for a great job they do for us. I know they're looking forward to the senior games, and I look forward to stopping by. And I need to agree with Commissioner Aycock. Mr. Bell's commitment to East Point alone speaks volumes, and I thank you for staying active with that group. Thank you.
Thank you. And I agree with that. I sat beside Mr. Bell for 2 years over there. Between him and Ed, they finally got me trained. Or they think they did anyway. That's good working with both of you. What's that?
Can I say a word?
Yes, sir.
You know, this is scary.
Has that been said yet,
I don't know. I mean, Pastor don't go nowhere.
Going back to the retreat, I thought it was a very focused effort by all of us, and hopefully we've given our county managers a clear direction on where we want to go. And I know we're working you hard, and I know we're working our county attorneys hard as well, and the rest of the staff, and I want to thank the staff for what they do for us. One final thing, and I guarantee he's watching us right now. Our chairman, as you see, is not here today, He had some surgery, and pretty serious surgery. But I talked to him yesterday, and he's got good spirits. Matter of fact, he's probably gonna come home tomorrow, and he's been helping me run the county in chores from a hospital bed. So we've got a dedicated chairman too, so I'm talking good about everybody. But he's doing very well, and like I say, he was in good spirits yesterday, and he's ready to get back to work as soon as the doctors are cut him loose. So that's all I've got to say today. I know we got a work session planned, but I think we need about a 5-10 minute break, so we're going to go in a quick recess.
Mr. Chairman,
Can
can I say one thing
Yes, sir.
before we recess? I would be remiss if I didn't overlook something that affects about everybody in Wayne County. We had an Impact Wayne banquet. If you remember, Impact Wayne is the private partnership that supports the Wayne County Development Alliance, and it was down at the Terrace Room here on Center Street. And out of I think we have a $1.1 million goal that we need to meet. I was one of the ones that some of us had the signs up, which they wanted us to guess how much we had raised. Well, guess what? I had the number 0. So I had to go all the way to the end. But if I remember correctly, it was somewhere around 875,000. Was that right? Yeah. Somewhere in that area, out of the 1.1 million. Look, this county citizens and industry step up to the plate whenever they're called on. And I just want to say that to thank everyone that is a part of Impact Wayne, that is a very supportive arm of Wayne County Development Alliance. We can, Impact Wayne, make a deal go through if there's not enough funding, if they need a little extra money here and there, the county can't come up with it. Impact Wayne can make a deal go. So it's very important. So I just want to say that, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. We're still going to take a recess, all right?
Yeah.
So we'll be back in about 10 minutes.
This has been a presentation by Wayne Goldsboro Television of the meeting of the Wayne County Board of Commissioners. Wayne County Commissioners meet the first and third Tuesday of each month in the Commissioners' Meeting Room on the 4th floor of the Wayne County Courthouse at 224 East Walnut Street in Goldsboro, North Carolina. For more information, the County of Wayne is online at www.waynegov.com. The mailing address is Post Office Box 227, Goldsboro, North Carolina 27533. Thank you for watching.